Hello, for more so content invest. We talk about investing, finance, and professional development for today's terms only. The investment talk today would be them taking teach. So it's my second posting as of today. With respect to recording time of 2:46 p.m. on Eastern time. Ethereum current trading at $3,472, up about 0.08% so far. With respect to other coin, Bitcoin's currently up about 1.32%, trading on sideways fashion as well. Dogecoin kind of doing the same thing, normalizing around like this 25 cents level. While Cardano is currently up a little bit with the sell-off that we've incurred in the last 2 days, selling close to being from the $2.88 down to at one point crashing all the way down to the $2 mark, which is the level of substantiveness that we bought back in, and immediately people have the purchase order in and subsequently recuperate back up. So now we kind of trade on a sideways fashion, $2.52, which $2.52 is a flat number, which is the reason why we trade on a sideways fashion. We also had two consolidation zones so far. So it seems like we're depleting, formed that death cross recently on the 2nd of September. So really, it's just sliding off the cliff right now. But with respect to our side, it's still, leaning more of a middle level, right? It needs to further go down a little bit more, to get to be the 30 levels, which ideally should be somewhere close to be about like the $2 mark. But as you can see, we do have a gap here that we should subsequently form back to go down even further. So for me, I would just stay away at the moment. It seems like we might still have some more room to fall down to. So Solana again, we sold back from the $215.85, and that was a relatively large correction. That's basically like close to about $50 of correction so far, coming back down to a more of a normalized level. It seems that we are seeing some sort of a curvature slowly. On top of the fact, RSI is extremely overbought. We're at the highest level of being overbought right now. So there's a huge supply and demand imbalance at the moment. A lot of investors FOMOing in at the moment right now. So something we have to be cautious of. But if you bought in at the current level right now, just hold. We need to go through the oscillations because, like, in terms of the market cycles, we have not begin. We are just at the phase of euphoria right now, so it needs to go through the subsequent ones. But in terms of like, is the euphoria phase completely done yet? I think we are pretty much almost there. But is the timing, is the 215 like the all-time high, and that's it? I frankly don't have an answer because we don't know how much higher we can leap up to. But in terms of like, do you want to risk that bet right now? In terms of the risk reward ratio, I think the risk is relatively higher than the reward potential you'd be getting right now. But if you bought on the $66 level, congratulations to you guys. Making a killing right now. So that's really great. Ultimately, we're in the business of risk mitigation. So for me, I think the risk is really high. So I'll just stay away from now. XRP is comparable again. We are I think that $1.09 level is not a bad level actually. This is a relatively substantive one. And I think these levels below, the next level I ideally would buy it would be like more like the 78 cents or like the 69 cents. Or even if we get lucky, it would be the 56 cents. But right now, $1 is not a bad level in comparisons to other coins on XRP perspective. So going back to Ethereum, with respect to the cross section we recently formed, we still have a little bit more room to go down to, I would believe. With respect to the RSI, is still kind of in the more mid-level, normalized level. So we need to further get down a little bit further down. So ideally, going back down to like the $3 mark, $3,000 mark, and subsequently get to the 2,750, 2,450. Those are the level I personally would be buying at. There's no reason for rushing in at the moment because the price level can fluctuate, going forward. So there's no expiration dates in terms of how you invest either, right? We just have to look at what's the risk profile of the current level right now. And I think the current level right now is definitely a lot better in comparisons to when we were at the 4,000, right? And I think this crash that we saw here, it's obviously a manipulation, right? But in terms of like what's the catalyst of this manipulations, we know it's mainly driven by a whale, and this is a whale that made a trigger from all the other coins as well. For Bitcoin, we saw the comparable dynamics that occur, and subsequently with that drag effect, basically drag down the entire market. Besides Solana, which we've seen has been surging up in a way, it seems like we are slowly bouncing back up right now, going back up to the $191 level at the moment to try to go back up to be above 200. So really great for the ones that invested in, but again, for me, this is really really high risk for me. So I am more risk averse. I'll just stay away. So with respect to Ethereum, on top, with respect to the technicals, let's go through the news real quick. I would say, in terms of like the news that I've been collecting so far, ever since my first posting today, I don't think there's anything that's truly substantive with respect to the news that we've been hearing so far in the last 4 or 5 hours. Just a lot of regurgitation news, talk about Ethereum rebounding, talking about with respect to the crash that we saw 2 days ago, that Ethereum subsequently has risen for more than 3% so far in the last 24 hours. And also with respect to Solana, seems like it could be an Ethereum killer because of the value proposition it stands for. So I would say, it's more regurgitation news, and then more news talk about the ZT tube, right, which is the green solutions to fix the Ethereum gas fee problem and the high cost problem ever since the transition in the London fork to the 2.0, right? It seems like it's something that we still need to further cultivate to improve upon. And yeah, that's pretty much it on the news front. So nothing really substantive. I think in terms of like based on how the market's shaking out right now, would I be changing any of my assumptions or my risk assessment so far? I think it's still relatively at the same level. I have not really changed my point of view, and especially in these like times when it's emotions run high. I can me, I'm a human too, right? I can. And also with my engagement with my audience, my friends on YouTube so far, people have a certain way of depicting their point of view, and I take that with a grain of salt, but also can create some biasness towards my opinion, right? And I try to basically mute all of that. I just read it in an informative way. It informs me, it educates me, but in terms of like what's the right way of making a decision, I still stay within the chart. I'll stay within the cheat sheet. You could say I'm old school. I just, because I am not a wizard, and I don't think anybody can be a wizard in crypto. We just can tell by the risk profile, right? And that's how we counter by mitigating and dollar cost averaging at the right level. So with respect to the cheat sheets that we have, right? It seems like we are at the late stage of the complacency again, right? And we are in the early innings of anxiety, and you'll see that we will basically also in a sideways fashion. And the market cycles for crypto can durate from anywhere from like 4 months, 6 months to 8 months. And I think if you look at the historical trends, that's how it typically looks like. So I would say we should still see some more sell off coming. It's just logical, right? If we are gonna ideally reach all time high again by next year at this time, 12 months from now, based on our price target, I think it makes sense, right? We need to sell down to again, right, the 2,750, 2,450, or like the low 2,000s again, right, to get to the low levels. And when everybody's panicking, when everybody's like screaming like, "Oh my God, everything is selling off," that's when you want to be buying it, right? And next thing you know, the whales are gonna come in, and you're gonna see a bunch of positive news, and you're gonna drive a lot of people with hopeism, with optimism. They're gonna have belief, and people start selling their house when they get to thrill level. Then that's when you're gonna see all time high, right? So obviously on the media affectation front, on media companies are supposed to influence people, right? They're supposed to change the way people think. And it seems like it's working right now, right? And that's why you have to read and detect with a huge grain of salt, if you may, right? And that's why having the cheat sheets and the technical analysis is so important to us. And I think selling down would be the level I'll be buying at again, and that gives me the opportunity to buy further and build up my position from there, right? Ultimately, I want to get 100 Ethereum going forward and just hold, and that's my target, right? And we like discount, right? We do not like to buy things on a premium. And I totally get why people can be frustrated if we are seeing some sell off. Like, oh my God, I bought at 4,000. What am I gonna be doing now? Should I be selling? Like, you should never sell when you are down. You should always wait it off if you believe in a long term, and that's the reason why you play the game in the first place, right? You believe in this in the long-term value proposition, you don't just buy because like someone told you so. That's not the right way of investing ever, right? That's not the right way to do anything in general. Just like take everything with face value, right? So feel free to use this as a reference. Always question what people say on YouTube, right? Including myself. Like why do I have this specific perspective? Why is my point of view this way? And triangulate that with your point of view and your risk aversion, because we are different people. I'm not supposed to tell you what to do. You know what I'm trying to say? So that's my approach. And with respect to the price target, again, for myself, 3,000, 2,750, 2,450. But if you believe in the long term wise, right, next year by September, we should technically go through the cycle again, which is still a long time from now, right? 9,800, 3.3 times your money if you buy the $3,000 level. So hopefully this is helpful. It's my second video again. So my next video is going to be posting will be tomorrow morning. So I'm just going to be prepping for my meeting later today with my senior advisor, and really appreciate you guys for dropping by. I'm going to go take a shower and change a little bit, get freshened up, I guess. But really appreciate you, and stay tuned for us to come up. Okay, bye.